afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is MC Richardson, the chairman, the CEO, and the founder of the United Minority Media Association. And we will be celebrating 50 years as a 501c3 media organization, the oldest in the United States. And we're a home base here in Kansas City. But what we got for you today will enable people from all over to participate and gain that sought after knowledge and opportunity to be part of other great people. And what we're talking about is going to take place on December the 2nd in Kansas City, Missouri, at the lovely Fowlkes Walking Cultural Heritage Center. We have a capacity. We're looking at people representing organizations and or individuals of 125. So you have a person that could represent X amount of 100 or 1,000 of people in their organization. And we have, I guess, a 3 or 4 pole celebration. And I will repeat the theme is 50 years. Now I want you to think, what is 50 years? That's steady and growing. And we're going to talk about people with the construction industry, because we got some special projects we're lining up. We're going to talk about the veteran, which is Scott's baby, whereas we're going to get property handouts from at least 50 people from his organization with a disabled veteran. The person we have here is Regina Bradley, a retired secret or intelligent Army major of veterans. And that promises to be very enlightening to a lot of veterans that go to the various veteran administration, but not getting what they feel is really all they should be getting, because basically it is said that most of the people at the veteran administration places are people in training. They come from all over the world, and once they get that training, they take it back to their country. But here's a lot of opportunities that they might not be cognizant of that happen right here in this area, speaking of Kansas City. Then we're talking about our Marmite group, that's the youth, and we're talking about youth from middle school, high school, colleges, and etc. We're talking about the people and the students who are majoring or want to become active or in the law enforcement business. And we got a group that is over there. We also have what we call the ascertainment, which started about humor back in the 70s, where we bring different groups, different streets, different topics together with the various people. Like the first one we're talking about all the in St. Louis states with this too, all of the unsolved murders, drive-by shooting, be it domestic or people just want to kill people, and we want to get every law enforcement agency and mayors involved in that. But the other one is to bring together the already corporate members, but the people in the construction industry to work on projects for infrastructure, especially in the minority community. And we're also talking about getting more people involved to work with this organization, which I will repeat, is we're celebrating 50 years and we're just beginning. And we're going to incorporate today, we're going to really target the people who's only 270 miles away, the city of St. Louis and the other surrounding areas, to get involved with just that little, I think it's raining here in Kansas City though, I hear the thundering. I don't know what's happening in St. Louis, but we think that we can begin to share a lot.
It's not thundering, MC.
Well, it's thundering here. I hear it. Okay. But to make another announcement for you Missourians, I was made aware that Mizzou, University of Missouri at Columbia beat the people in Manhattan, Kansas, the Kansas State Wildcat by a score of 30-27. So all you Missourians just jump up and shout. I'm waiting for tomorrow to see what our Chiefs can do. But anyway, we got a lot to cover today. Plus the things that are happening there, what's happening here, and we're looking for people. We got some very reasonable rates. We call them donations. We got one individual for $125. They'll get not only to cover the activity. Oh, I don't forget this. Our menu has been catered by Gates Barbecue Luncheon Special. And then the people who like rotisserie chicken, we're going to have the light or dark, and that's request for the menu. Plus, we're talking about, I understand, cheesecake. But our donation, we have a cutoff date. We need the money to donation on October the 15th. And in order to make that possible, here is people that you want a check, money order, or cashier check. You check basically a company check. You come to the United Minority Media Association. That's in Kansas City, Missouri. Address is 5511 Woodland Avenue, KCMO 64110. And people can make donations too. But we like to attract, like time well spent, just a table of 8 for a little thrifty, $750, and they will get some of the lovely clocks, and that include the program and the luncheon and the opportunity to meet and mingle with others like yourself.
Sounds like a nice incident. And really to hear just the first couple of steps that you laid out there, invite, that's the Bruce Watkins. It's a beautiful facility. Why don't you tell people a little bit about the history of this Bruce Watkins? How it came about, in the history.
Okay, Bruce Watkins, his family's in the funeral business. And he became the first county-wide major officer. He unsuccessfully ran for mayor in Kansas City, which we've had 3 black mayors to hold that position. President Congressman Emmanuel Cleaver, which we were asked to participate in this gala affair on December 2nd. And we're talking about another person that is an attorney, and he held a term for 2 terms. Now we have a guy, Quentin Lucas. He's in his 2nd term, and they all are trying to make things happen for Kansas City, where a lot of people are interested in affordable housing, cutting down on crime. We might just break it down. And it promised to be quite a turnout with the different agencies or participants, their groups providing handouts for people to take either home or distribute among their friends, such as one particular item in health. A lot of people are diabetics, and a lot of people say, I'm not a diabetic, but they know people in their families and whatever to get them involved. And I don't know if it's hereditary, but also I know that the symptoms are there, and people can reach out to health facility how to best deal with that. Among not only diabetics, but the people with other illnesses they might have. So we got a full afternoon, the morning. It's a breakfast with that. We have some things for that. It is a luncheon, and with local people involved, and we're trying to attract other people because it's like on the veteran deal in St. Louis and Kansas City, you have a lot of the same issues that we can bring these top people together, politicians, or should they say elected official or appointed official, to help come together and resolve the problems we have in those areas. In St. Louis, I know you have quite a lot, and the two cities, they say the Twin Cities used to be, on the same token, St. Louis, and first, I'd like to get Scott, who's with he's a retired Air Force person, who will give what they do with the disabled veterans.
Disabled American veterans basically helps. Biggest thing is we help veterans with their claims, with that they need medical service for. You know, we are the liaison to the VA and help them apply for things like grants. For disabled facilities. We help them get their treatment from the VA. We help them get their disability pensions from VA. So those are the main things that we do.
Well, those are important things, and you will provide us X number of handouts to distribute among the attendees of our gala affair.
I'll be glad to send you some. You betcha.
Okay. That is an area that retired Army Lieutenant Rebecca Bradley will head up, and with her particular components will not only travel to Kansas City, but Missouri, but St. Louis, and you name it, and trying to get the people.
You said Missouri, okay? Right in the middle on going down Highway 7, you got Columbia, Missouri. Then you go a little bit, I guess, to the south there. You have Jeff City. Has a lot of veterans there. That's also our state capital. And, Lincoln University, Historical Black College down there. And so I said, you have a lot of veterans, not only just on the interstate way, but also we have, on both, they go down there, and also in Springfield, Missouri. We also have, north of Kansas City, we have, what's that, I think Bruce is mine right now, thoughts right now, but I know we got also that in Missouri, something that Missouri Team Cummings is working. There are a lot of veterans straight out across our state, and I will unfortunately have to say that in Missouri, that the legislators in our state capital right now are kind of cutting back on a lot of the benefits that veterans may be entitled to in terms of what Medicaid, sometimes benefits they can get, and the state has to play a role in making those benefits available to them. And so sometimes now in states like our state, they're trying, not be as helpful in kind of making those benefits available for our veterans in terms of our state. That's kind of a shame, but that's something that's being discussed now in Just City. But I think what the veterans are doing is definitely a need, because as Scott will tell you, or I know his wife is, you're making programs this weekend here in St. Louis, in St. Louis County, I should say. The veterans are having a kayaking program in Scott, and they're pretty advertising right now on Channel 5. It was on Channel 5 a short time ago, highlight, just some of the things that the veterans are doing, to reach out to the veterans. My father's a veteran, and I was a veteran. See, we also be remiss, so see, you also are a veteran your own self. And I think you served as a Navy membership, right? Am I right?
Right, yes, and we have people, we're talking about Springfield, Missouri, St. Joe,
Yes,
Missouri.
yes,
We're
St. Joe.
talking
That's
about,
what St. Joe. Yes.
we're talking about all the small towns here, but people in general, and there's a lot of people that are not cognizant what might be out there, although different people are cutting back on their program, but there's still some things that people should get involved in, like they have their style of veteran home, and getting people involved. But unless you get involved or have relatives, see, the other deal is the people or the veteran who marry, their wives become recipients of all the veteran benefits. And a lot of this is not people not cognizant what things there are available to them unless we get it out. So we're going to use the media, like groups like United Minority Media Association, and there are different people who host various talk shows or write articles for newspapers or whatever to get that word out and keep it going. And the other thing I forgot to, it comes back to me, I said St. Louis, Springfield, and the place down there, but Ferguson.
Yes, Ferguson. But I was saying, we got a lot of places: Ferguson, Jennings, Berkeley, Bell Fountain, Neighbors. We have a cluster of a lot of places here, okay, that's deeply in need of those services. You're right, GMC. I was remiss not to mention all those places. And I will say one thing, though, that once a veteran, always a veteran. And that's the thing about it. That now, and unfortunately, for Missouri, we're somewhat of a hospital desert because in recent years, the rural areas, especially, hospitals being shut down across the state. And so this veteran also, having a veteran hospital available to you is something that's desperately needed. Desperately needed, I should say. I'll use the word desperate lightly here. Those people definitely the gap to still get health care.
Well, that's true. And by this particular component, or workshop, you might say, that they can get this information because maybe they might not be a veteran, but they can be family members who are veterans.
Yes.
And not only that, but their wives and children, all that, unbeknownst to them, have a lot of things that they can benefit from.
Oh yes.
You can, if you have a computer, which you should have if you're listening to the show, you can always go to dav.org and find out.
Scott, hold on, Scott. Not on your computer. You got a cell phone, or you have a
That's
laptop.
A computer is a cell phone.
Right. Yes.
Cell phone is a computer. They're all computers. So if you have access to the internet, you can go to dav.org and find out how to get help in your area.
That's really good, Scott.
Go ahead.
Scott, you had to repeat that 3 times with something on our program.
Well, I've already said it twice. So
one more time, then.
One more time. dav.org. O-R-G.
Okay. Yes. And also, if you're a veteran, all those services are free to you. I mean, so that's the beauty of this, and so there's benefits, and benefits are no good to you unless you take advantage of them. You know what I mean? And these are first class. One of the things that I can say over the last couple of years, this administration, especially the Biden administration, they have taken on a commitment to actually work with the vets, and I say work with the vets by putting funds into those departments, so they can now reach out without no money there. It's kind of hard to do something, but now there are funds in those bank accounts for those departments to actually go out and be able to supply the workers that's needed, and the people that's there to make sure that that somebody can get to the real area. They got all types of fleets of cars and vans and stuff like that. They can come to you. If you can't come to them, there's another way to get to you. Am I right, Scott?
Well, it depends. If you it depends on the service officer whether they're able to or not, because a lot of them are disabled as well. So
Okay.
it could be worked out, but yeah, it's necessary that you apply for your benefits. Again, you're not going to get.
Nobody knows what benefits you need until you
Exactly.
become aware.
And if you want the latest benefits, look up the PACT Act. That's PACT Act. Again, that's PACT Act. PACT Act. And that was.
Now, people not aware. Okay, most recently, there was a bill passed that were people that fought in the I guess not necessarily Vietnam War, but most of the wars over in the Middle East there, that they had to dispose of their waste, and they just burned all that, and all of that kind of got into people's lungs, into their bodies, and that was not a good thing. And so now, okay, those people got sick from that. And so now's the time for you to, a lot of people didn't know they got sick from it, okay? But also their body started changing. And so now at least you should have yourself tested to make sure that you don't need the services. But if you do need the services, now's the time to step up. I'm right, Scott?
That's correct. A lot of people are now eligible that weren't eligible.
Mm-hmm. And the one thing is you have to figure it out yourself. They'll figure it out for you. You get in contact with them.
Okay, I'd be remiss that I normally do at the top of the show, remembrance and dialogue. Vernon Thompson funeral, he was a legislator. He was in the Air Force. It wasn't his fault. He was from Texas. He was a veteran, and a lot of people, Vietnam, they have been caught with stuff that maybe happened back then, but it took anywhere from 1 year to 20 years before it came out. But he is being laid to rest now as we speak, probably already. But that's just one of the things, getting people working together, and that's where your faith community, they can get a lot of word out to the people, their memberships and what have you. So like this show and other shows from the Missouri Black Chamber of Commerce and from Yuma, we get the word out, but we need you to take advantage of that, either by the internet, even getting involved with organizations that really provide this. And the faith-based organization, normally, they do provide a lot of opportunity if it's for their church members and their people, okay? But that's just one. We also got another important workshop we call it the session, called Time Well Spent. That's the individuals over a period of years of their business have really contributed a great deal to their community, to their people. And one of our people that's going to take part of it are the people in the construction industry. And all their people, they'll be part of the Time Well Spent. And they are also extended the invitation to go in, and so we can do some infrastructure in the minority community, the business, and tell them how to maintain their business. And this conference, or this, when we say conference, is open to
workshop or conference.
Yeah, it's open to, it's open to each and every one of you out there, and that's the youth, the seniors, people, the different background, ethnic groups, or whatever. We are in a position after being here, and just like most of us are volunteers or pro bono, that it's quite a task. and I guess a gift to the people doing it, to be able to do this over a 50-year period. And
that's a long time, MC. That's a long time, MC. That's a long time. And just people just want to imagine how long 50 years is, okay? We right now have an umbrella in our country, the overthrow of Roe versus Wade, dealing with abortion, okay? Well, that's a 50 years. So give you an idea, 50 years, okay? That's how long that's has been, was in effect. 50 years is a long time. That means some people have raised their families, you know, and got new kids and stuff, you know, generations or stuff like that, you know. So really, they say generation nowadays is kind of gone. If you got 50 years, 40 years, so to speak, is like a generation, so to speak. So really, we got over 50 years here, of leaderships, of commitments, through rain, season, snow, even through the pandemics and stuff. We got survived, and that is saying quite a bit, okay, as a testimony. You have been here. As a matter of fact, a lot of organizations that, very few black organizations, as a matter of fact, we said in the media, MC, you predate most media organizations now that's out there that we got started. Those have also, faded away, and you still stand. And also this program, Yes, we come to Kansas City, it's over 30 years old that you've been doing this program. So that just goes to speak, okay.
Well, we've been blessed to have that opportunity, thanks to you, on these last few years, 8 years, whatever the number might be, to get that word out. And all this is pro bono.
And thanks to Scott also. And thanks to Scott, all of us.
Right.
Well, what's MC here, okay? When you have issues in another station, okay, I spoke to Scott, and I just told Scott a few minutes ago that we're pretty good as a team. And I told him about what you had done, and what you were trying to continue. And by the way, Scott is the owner of FergusonUSAAuthority.com, and so he saw fit to go, like him just said, go out to his service every Saturday, along with me every Saturday. After we have done our show at 1 to 3, come back on a Saturday, and make sure that MC show could continue to reach the Kansas City community. Something they can become all accustomed to. There are very few politicians, very few clergy members, organization-wise. I'm talking about the Lyles, I'm talking about the Elks, and you name them, okay, who have not been a guest on your show in the past.
Yeah, we've been kind of blessed. We've covered a lot of people as elected official, appointed person, and what have you. And this is like our continuation to do this, but a lot of people just don't know what the value and what you've been doing and what Scott's been doing and we've been trying to keep up or doing. What we provide to people. And a lot of them just take things for granted. Whereas we can't get all that to internet organization or come whatever, but they will have that and handouts so they can record that and get involved if they got facilities close by them or in their city that they can work with and gain more information and get involved.
Well, you see, another thing I think people should understand that on any news program, you only get that maybe once or twice a day. And then on any other program, any half-hour program, 22 minutes is dedicated toward the program itself. And there's only like 2 minutes, 8 minutes that they set aside for commercials to want to have you. Right here, there are no commercials. You have the whole hour of people that's getting facts. And also, whenever we tell you, oh my God, MC, I got a surprise for you. Yeah? You have a very famous person, family, okay, on the phone today. Not me, okay? Not me. But Scott Owens. Not only but Scott Owens, okay? MC, I know for a fact, okay, I know for a fact that we have brainstormed together, have we lots of times. Here on the phone in Kansas, we also pray together a lot of times. But one of the things that the word brainstorming, we ought to use it in college, high school, and everyday lives. But the word brainstorming came from Scott's grandfather. All right, Scott?
This is true. Alex Fakney Osborne.
He was an author, and back in the 1920s, am I right, Scott?
20s to 40s.
20s to 40s, he was a publisher, and he's the one that came up with the word brainstorming. And by that I mean it can document it someplace that you can actually go back and look in the history books, go back and look in the matter of fact today with Cheyenne. She offered, okay, what about MC and I, a lot of the babies in the family that from our shows as co-hosts from time to time. She said, what? And she looked it up, and there was God's grandfather who actually created the word, coined the word, created the word, how you want to use it, brainstorming. And so we are happy to say, you hear the word brainstorming, you can think about God Owen and his family, no matter you know.
You mentioned brainstorming.
Come on.
Start next week, 8 radio stations will start being put on radio announcements and some TV pertaining to the 50th anniversary of the United Minority Media Association. Mm-hmm. And then the word of mouth will go around. But we just, and a lot of times, we don't take advantage of that opportunity that is presented to us. And you can thank both Scott, our, even my group, for getting that word out there and keeping it going, and our relatives or friends that we associate with. And these are during these times are very difficult for a lot of people, but a lot of times the people just don't know what's available to them or for them.
Yeah, but through it all, they said through it all, through the good times and the bad times, and there have been all of those, that taking place. We have been fortunate enough to survive and to be here like today, share with you what is information that's unfiltered, uncut, and unbiased. And plus my group loves to do at your conference, and also the United Minority Media Association. We are all nonprofits. So we can't be politicking for anyone. We just tell you our opinions about what things have taken place. And so also, we can tell you also that any of your political friends, state reps, senators, and all them people, they also can direct you to your veterans, a person in your area also, if you need help. I mean, because they're also, supporters of what we're doing here. We're human, and that's what I said. Don't be bashful. We all need help right now, and we all can help each other.
And also after 50 years of me being chairman, the founder, CEO, I'm gonna have
many hats.
I beg your pardons?
Many hats.
Okay. I'm going to just do special projects, remain as chairman and CEO, but I think Phyllis Harris is going to be, she's been with the organization 20 plus years, and she's going to step in to see what a woman can do, being the president. I shouldn't say that, but she's going to become.
We know what a woman can do.
Yeah, she's going to become president, and also hopefully she'll still oversee what she started that in December, which is my birthday month, that they will
83rd birthday.
And who?
83 years.
Yeah. But she's going to start like she started, they're going to start requesting donations to MC Richardson. And what it is, we don't want people to provide this cash, this, that. No, we want cash, but in a different form. It'll be in money orders, it'll be in cashier's check, or be in company checks, and they will have a certain area of donation targeting me, and I hope it keeps going because I'm very thankful I've been able to exist trying to, in the South they say hope my people, but since I'm in the Midwest I say help our people.
MC, you have done an excellent job, and that I knew to know through the pandemics, through the colds, and through the, what do you call it, in different business crises that we have had, we had in the house above our crash, matter of fact, several wars also that you have lived through and continue to stand still and have an opportunity.
Well, we talked earlier, and you had a very interesting show, and you always do, of things that are taking place that we can pass it on to another show where some of our listeners might not have been able to listen to it at the time, but you can tell them how they can retrieve our shows. But what interesting things that you didn't get a chance to discuss on your show today?
Oh, well, today we had a full agenda, but in it we had a lot of things. Most times in the show I like to have more than enough. You never know, like on CT and live radio, you got to have something just in case. Those days you get your record off of the tape broke, you still had to do something. Well, today one thing that we discussed that's affecting everybody around the country and around the world really is the strike that just took place this week, I should say, with UAW and the workers that work that make 3 different brands of cars. We're talking about the Ford, Chrysler, well not just Chrysler, Jeeps and all those cars also, and also General Motors and Ford. And the strike took place in 3 different places. One in Kentucky, Detroit, and also here in St. Louis, in County, Westfield. And that strike overall will eventually affect over 300,000 people. But right now, you're doing on a small scale of only affecting 13,000 people. And this is all about money. They haven't got an increase, wages increases in at least 5 years. And the one thing that we all know for a fact that the car companies have been making real big money in terms of the way they have raised money, gotten donations from the federal government. They have gotten money from the different, like we just had the pandemic fund. They got money through the pandemic fund, and also they have got a lot of give backs from the unions themselves also. So right now we're looking at them on strike, and you can go by a factory, bless your horn, when you can, and support them, because all of their, one thing that Shane brought up today, the lowest price car this coming year is almost $20,000 for a brand new car. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. A lot of money. A lot of money. And so right now we have to support them, and also in DC, not DC, I'm sorry, in LA, there are several strikes going on out there. One that's affecting all the TV watchers, all the TV shows. Their writers went on strike last, okay? So that's why you see all the TV shows that you watch nowadays, they're either repeats, and they're like on most of your late night shows, they all repeat shows, and that's because the writers for those different shows are all on strike. And so, any network show that you see now is to repeat at nighttime. And then in addition to that, before then, you had the writers, for the with all of the networks, they were on strike, and so now they've been on strike over 107 days, and so now strikes are becoming more and more prevalent around the country. When you know, like you have a smaller strikes all the country, but right now these people need work, and when they're on strike, they're not getting paid. They only a small portion. Small. If you walk in the picket line, you get strike pay. So again, if you go back, blow your horn, and then you're supporting them. And also, we're looking at political politics. That a lot is going on there, and I say a lot. The most recently, we've been hearing, and I guess the war in Ukraine has to be considered politics. Well, what they haven't been talking about, and that's what we're going to talk about on our program, is how many in the last couple of weeks now, you haven't heard a lot about this, but Ukraine has also had a very effective strikes against Russia, where they have destroyed a Russian submarine. They have destroyed 42 artillery systems, 47 unmanned vehicles, and one of the biggest submarines was destroyed in the Black Sea. And that's all in the last 24 hours. And also Ukraine has launched a barrage of missiles. And I haven't said that you're seeing that Mr. Putin, President Putin of Russia, has been entertaining the president of North Korea, trying to get him to make missiles, make ammunition for him, also ammunition that he needs very desperately bad. In return, what he wanted from Russia in return was to utilize the missiles they have that they shoot into space. And because the Koreans been trying to come up with a good missile to launch their missiles and stuff, and it's unfortunate to no success. And another thing that's affecting pretty much, if you're a Catholic around the world, that the Pope right now will discuss the world's passion, discuss the world's pressing needs, and come to a global warming. That's something that's taking place with all of us around the world. You got monsoons. You've been having earthquakes over in Libya, which is something that's very bad over there. Over 20,000 people have been killed in the last week, and that figure may continue to rise. We have in the Panama Canal, which connects the both oceans there. Well, they're having problems now with running dry. Because they're having drought spells there. As we have the earthquakes, we also have a hurricane built up on the East Coast now. It's going to hit up in Halifax, right on the tip of Canada and stuff like that. That's real there. And we also have it, having like in Hawaii, we had the hurricane there, and along with the ocean currents coming aboard there. And always you hear about floods and not necessarily flooding in California, because for the first time in a long time, by the way, we had a hurricane, out there in California. So these all contribute to global warming. That's the one thing that the Pope right now is wants to speak to be a part of the conversation with. And I said, the Clinton place down there, the Bill Clinton Global Initiative is something take place every year. And this year we're going to have Secretary Treasurer Secretary Janet Yelkin, and also former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton would be taking part in this, and also a lot of business will be there, and all of them there to discuss how global warming is taking place, and also something very important for the Black community. The sun right now. This is beautiful news here. The HBCU formula transformation project. That's a coalition of about 40 historical black colleges and universities. On Wednesday announced $124 million gift. A gift, not a grant, not something to pay back, no strings attached. A gift from the philanthropic funders, Blue Marion partners. This is to increase enrollment, graduation rates, employment rates for schools and graduates once you get out of school. And this is going to affect all of those students there. And this is something we very, 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 and also this is a significant scale gift for them to signal to the philanthropic community that this is a very good investment, and seeing how we can also, help our students. One of the student problems we have right now, student loans. They may have a window right now, but we're not sure how that may be blocked off by some people in the parties that be there. So, but again, for the first time in a long time, we had down in Texas, we had the Attorney General was on trial. Well, I should say he was on trial. He had been impeached down there. And in impeachment, we went through it down for President Trump. The House of Representatives will find you guilty or not guilty. Well, down there, they impeached him. And so then you go to the Senate, then they'll vote on whether to either fire you or let you stay in office. No. And so in this case, they had a trial, and they just this afternoon voted to acquit him, which means that he's not guilty, but he can remain Attorney General. Now, that does not stop the federal trials that he's involved in right with the federal government, because he got in trouble for using his office to protect an Attorney General. Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Austin developer named Nate Paul, who was indicted in June on federal charges making false statements to the bank. So that's stuff and also something that affects all of us. Right now in Congress, normally how this works, you're going to hear about this and starting probably Monday about what's taking place with the budget being passed October the 1st. As MC tell you, I'll tell you, all departments, they all run off of different, the money that comes out on October 1st, the government starts a new budget. But right now, there are 12 bills that must be passed. It must be passed for the government to continue operating. And right now, there are no bills have been passed as of Friday. And this is, I looked up this past weekend to make sure I said this right. And you said, why not? Well, the House of Representatives have been very busy, like this impeachment of President Trump. Biden and his son. And there's been other type of investigation into all type of issues that has nothing to do with passing the budget. And so right now, they're having a fight now in Congress on the House side about having the Speaker of the House removed. So he had to fight for his job. But he has also to be in charge of making sure those budgets get passed. And right now, a balanced budget is out of the question. And so we're going to rely on what they call a stopgap measure, which means allow the government to continue. At this point, the Senate already held this business already. Now they're working right now is for the House to do what they need to do. And then they go to a committee, conference committee, where that be, the House and the Senate come together. And they pass that bill on to the president. But right now.
Okay, if we could take a step back to the historic black colleges and universities. Mm-hmm. The United Minority Media Association, we serve the Midwest Southeast region, but not limited to, and that's 27 states. So what we're putting together, and everybody seems to be getting involved in this, to get more people involved at the historical black colleges and universities.
Yes.
And we're interested in providing that list at our conference to get more students, not only the students in radio, TV, advertising,
and broadband, the whole 9 yards.
Marketing is a need for us. It's just like I'm personally have a problem with electronics, and we need more ITs, and we need to get to encourage our youth, because a lot of companies, because they're kind of constantly not in war, but I guess in war, that the major companies, they have more revenues to go and get the best students they possibly can. I'm not knocking getting the best student, but we as people to strengthen the historical black colleges, and here locally, what business can run without having a good marketing component? What business can run without having good people in electronics? We need it. So we need to get all those people to enable them to, it's competitive, but enable to do that. And that's what you guys in St. Louis and Ferguson have been doing a tremendous job, but we need to inspire our people early age to major. I'm on education. We can get our people educated.
By all means. And see, you brought up a good point there, and I should got myself in the face there. Come April the 4th and 5th of next year, we have our first event for the Missouri Chamber of Commerce, and in that, our theme is connectability. And in that conference, we have from our national office, Mr. Chuck DeBow, who is our CEO, and also from the National Business League, we have the S16 president, Dr. Ken Harris, will be our speakers. And in that conference, we're going to be honored, I should say, the people that's like meet those stations, radio stations. There are two that we have here in Wisconsin, the radio black newspapers, and also the other white newspapers, who have contributed, to provide information to our communities. And also we, in turn, to bring in not just them, MC, but also all the corporations in Kansas City that again, will take advantage. And also, MC, what we did out at a conference a couple weeks ago in Atlanta, Georgia, for the National Chamber of Commerce, the International Business League, and the World Conference of Mayors, along with the National Alliance of Black Businesses, had over 1,600 black business owners of corporations from all around the world, all around the diaspora, all from South America, all from Africa. And we all was in Atlanta, and we were there, to bring awareness. And what we was about to say, MC, here in St. Missouri, we're lucky to have two HBCUs, Lincoln University and Jeff City, where you went to school, MC, down there, am I right?
No, I went to Fort College.
Okay, Fort College. Well, I know your heart seemed to be always down in Lincoln University, along with Carl Price. I grew up in Carl Price. And also we have Harris State University here in St. Louis. So we have two HBCUs, that we're all trying to support. And for all that we do, we want to get all that participation, all that excitement to benefit our youth. Now, one thing that I didn't mention here, but about the Pope right now, is also, remember who's not listening, but right now, this past week, in the Senate, Schumer invited the heads of all the high-tech corporations like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, people from Apple and YouTube, and all those people to come to the Senate to discuss, along with our business enablers, discuss how AI, with artificial intelligence, will be affecting us going forward. And the one thing that came out of the conference was several things, I should say. That one is that everyone agreed on the tech companies on the political side that it needs to be regulated going forward. And also need to look at things how it can benefit not just the corporation and media and stuff like that, in customer service. A lot of times now you listen to people talk to you on the phone, it's computers. not somebody's, voices and stuff. And right now, AI is one of the things being discussed in the strikes in LA about the jobs that they're being taken away. So all that's being discussed at the conference this past week. And out of that came, I said, a couple of things. One, that they determined that going forward, and this was the census note to determine, Bill Gates said the potential to feed hungry and hungry people around the world. And also, one person mentioned how to spend tens of billions on transforming innovation. That would allow to unblock all the AIs.
4 minutes, gentlemen.
I was getting ready to interrupt what he's getting ready to say, but that's April. But if we could get some people from your April conference to participate in our conference on December the 2nd, they probably could pick up some more people. And I'd like for both you and Scott tell the people how they can connect with me, since my regular phone, since I don't know they're electronic. How is this show possible? What's the number should they call? I'd like for you and Scott both to tell the people the line that we're on.
Well, right now, for them to get in contact with MC, the number that uses cell phone number, and let me pull it up here so I get this right. Right here, one. Cell phone number is 816-694-2273. I said it two more times. MC cell phone number is 816-694-2273. You want to get a hold of MC Richard right away. Anytime you want to come, reach out to him. It's 816-694-2273. And once you hold that number, you can hear this beautiful voice saying, "How can I help you? How your day going?"
That's true. And your check's in the mail. On the same token, I know Scott getting ready to give way to the other things you got to do, but we need the people, and we do it on a first come, first paid through donation. So we really need that. So we'll lead up and have probably extended information to be provided at the December 2nd event for what's coming in April. And one thing about it, we're from the Show Me State, so let's show them, Missouri. And thank you for having us again.
And also, MC, if you want to reach out to me for you also, my email address is IRA, folks, FOWLKES @yahoo.com. That's IRA, folks, FOWLKES @yahoo.com. MC, I will get my last name messed up. IRA, FOWLKES @yahoo.com. And I'll make sure MC.
Okay, but Scott, before we go off, tell the people how the disabled veterans, can make things happen in the Show Me State, since you're part of, and you will have somebody else's material available for us on December the 2nd. And and another thing is, we're going to have like holiday music during our conference, because after that we're going to have to, Scott's going to take a vacation being Santa Claus.
That's right.
Yes. Well, he plays Santa Claus, and right now, this is the Guess Who's Coming to Kansas City, created through Miss MC Richardson, the United Minority Media Association. We call it UMA. My name is Ira Fowlkes. I'm the founder CEO of the Missouri Team Conference, and Scott Owen, whose grandfather created, I should say. We're going to brainstorm again this time next week. And Scott Owens is also the CEO and owner of HotTalker.com. And then note, Scott. Also, please wear your face mask. Please wear your face mask. The pandemic is not here yet, but please fight COVID by wearing your face mask, washing your hands, and distancing yourself if you can. Scott, and no take it out of here, sir.